Okay, so everybody okay with one? Put those in order. Make sure you use your calculator, get those right. Interval notation. So that is also equal, so this is your right answer right here. Those brackets. If it was just less than, you're gonna get those. If it was just less than. Don't wanna do that, because then you think that's equals. Everybody okay with 1 and 2? Questions there at all? All right, move down to number 3 is set builder, okay? So, I'm gonna think like how I come in the number line. I'm coming this way. What's my first number there? -3, okay? Then I'm gonna just drop an X in between those, and that number is 4, isn't it? So, I have this number line. What does it need to be? It needs to be less than 4, right? Not equal because it's open, but it needs to be greater than -3, but also equal. And you need X such that, there you go. So with the number line, just calm down, look at your first number as you start coming from that side, write it. Leave yourself some space for your greater than, less than, okay? Then drop in your X, and then your last number. Now, the way your arrows are shaded there, or the way the arrows go there is the way they're always gonna go. X greater than or equal. If you come across on the number line, if you start on the left, looking for your first number, okay, which was right here, -3, it's always gonna be X greater than that, and it's always gonna be on this last one, it's always gonna be less than. Everybody okay there? I see a few of you writing, but not as many as I had hoped to be writing stuff down, but it must be you got it, and you feel like you got it, so I guess that'll be all right. Okay, additive. What do we add? Okay, we have negative. Okay, so we're looking for the additive. What are we gonna add to equal 1? Additive inverse, what do we add? Excuse me, what do we add to get to 0? That meant additive inverse is what do we add to get to 0?
3/2.
Okay, so we're gonna add 3/2. That's kind of messing this up. That's not right. Mr. Slur, am I having a brain hemorrhage here? Additive inverse, what am I gonna add to get to 0? I'm going to add
2/3.
positive 2/3.
Understand the difference here. It's add to get to 0, multiply to get to 1.
So I'm gonna have my multiplicative now. I'm going to have -2/3. Here's what I'm gonna multiply by. -3/2, which would give me 1. Add to get 0, multiply to get 1. Your additive, and that's a note, just put it on your note card. Additive, I gotta add to get 0. I gotta multiply to get 1. And I would say number 4, add to get 0. On number 4, put the number. That's the same number it's gonna be on the exam. Number 4 is gonna be additive and multiplicative inverse. Guess what number 5 is gonna be?
Simplify.
Yeah, it's gonna be simplified.
So there's only going to be 19 questions on
I think there's 30, I think.
Can I like miss a day last week?
How many questions are on the practice?
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, there happens to be another side of it, yeah. Okay, simplify, so we have the square root of 50 over the square root of 98. let's see, 50, you might say 5 times 10, but then you're gonna get a couple of 5s, so 50 really factors to 5 times 5 times 2, right? 98 is 2, goes into there, then it'd be 49, so that's gonna be 7 times 7 times 2. So I'm doing the old factor tree method. If you see perfect squares, that's fine. Now I need sets of 2, don't I? Are there any sets of 2? Well, certainly. Here's a set and here's a set. So this is gonna become 5 square roots of 2 over 7 square roots of 2. That makes sense to you. I take the sets of 5s and the sets of 7, they come out as 1, right, under the radical. Now, there's a uniqueness here. These guys just end up canceling because they're the same. So I really end up with 5 over 7. You might put that away for a while, please. How do we feel about number 5? All right, number 6, rationalize. Okay, so we have the square root of 7 over the square root of 5. When we rationalize, we're gonna multiply by whatever's in that denominator. Square root of 5 times the square root of 5 is square root of 25. That's the square root of 35. Of course, the square root of 25 is 5. Looking back, the square root of 35 is 7 times 5, so there's no sets of anything to come out. So there's your answer for that guy right there. Square root of 35 over 5. Rationalizing. My friends, this is pretty basic, everything that we did, but I really didn't go overboard and try to make it so you can't pass. I've given you a really good study guide. I've given you a free write anything card. If you put any effort at all, a C should be your minimal grade.
I mean, 1 through 4, you can give yourself directions on how to solve those perfectly every time.
Every time.
5 and 6, you gotta remember a couple things,
But you can still write some directions down on the card, name them. Number 7. Might be the easiest problem on the whole thing. Okay? If we have 10 of something, we wanna add 2 of something, how many of those somethings do we have? 12 of those somethings. Okay? 12 square roots of 3, 10 square roots of 3 plus 2 square roots of 3, give me 12 square roots of 3.
you miss that one, we get to hit you with something.
Simplify. I have 1 s squared and 5, so I'm gonna add those common things together and get 6 s squared. So that takes care of the s squareds. Now, does it matter? Not really, but we're gonna put the 3 minus 3s. Takes care of that. And that is a t, so that is plus t. So we combine some of the like things there to get that answer.
What did you get 6 times?
We have a 1 in here. We have s squared and 5. So this is just 1 s squared right there. Simplify the expression. Are we okay here? Ready to move on? Number 9. Make yourself a note. Anything to the 0 power is what? 1. So this really ends up being 4 to the negative first times 1, or really just what? 4 to the negative first. That's what it really ends up being. We're not done yet, because when we did this section, we said Simplifying means no negative exponents, okay? Simplify means no negative exponents. So how do we get rid of the negative exponents? We write it as, take it to the basement. Remember talking about that. So 4 to the negative first is like 1 over 4 to the first. Of course, 4 to the first is just 4. So this whole thing is just 1 over 4. How are we doing? Hey, I'm just gonna do one more. We're gonna do 10, and then you're gonna have the rest of the class to try to start looking at 11 through 20. 11 through 21 or so, 11 there. Everybody okay?
Yup.
Thanks. No card, review sheet. All right, this one, you gotta be careful. It's one of them, probably will give a little more problem than you think. We are raising to the power. I would suggest expanding. Are you listening? I would suggest expanding. So we have 5a times negative 5a. How many of those do I have to write out? A squared b, a squared b, a squared. I'm trying to help you get this answer. Okay, it's a little bit more work, but I think it's the safest way to go. Does everybody understand? So I have how many of this first term? 1, 2, I raise it to the second. How many of this second one I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because I raised to the fifth. Okay, so I went the long route, expand. Once I expand, I multiply the numbers and add the exponents. Multiply the numbers and add the exponents. So my numbers are what? Negative 5 times negative 5, which is going to give me positive 25. Now, add those A's. There's 1, 2, there's another 2 is 4, another 2 is 6, another 2 is 8, another 2 is 10, another 2 is 12. So A to the 12th. B's. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. B to the 5th. Now there is a little slicker, easier way, but that's the most surefire way for us. Expand out. Why did I write 2 of these? Because it's to the second power right here, right?
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Let's say 12/5 over A after 25A.
That's a B, bud. That's 12A, B to the 5th. Does everybody understand why I wrote 5 of these? Right? Why? Because that is to the 5th. So this is a B. This is 25, A to the 12th, B to the 5th, not 12/5. I guess I could see, I might see that stretch to me. Okay. Far away, that's right. Everybody okay? There's 1 through 10, we're gonna stop there. And now I'd like you to try to continue on with 11 on. Questions or concerns on 1 through 10? Got your note card? Number 1, need to do this. Number 2, write yourself a note if you're struggling with that particular problem, okay? All right, tomorrow we'll do the next 10.